Good morning, Year 3. Happy Thursday. Now, I hope that you are enjoying the letter that we have started to write. Now, today we are going to be moving on to the next shape of our text, and we're going to be having a look at acknowledging feelings. So we are acknowledging how some of the pens were felt because of what we did. Okay, so we're going to be having a look at how some of our pens are feeling. Now, in our letter, we did the felt tips mentioned some of the pens who weren't very happy. So we are going to acknowledge how they are feeling by saying, we understand this has been such a horrific event. But I'd like you to come up with some other words for horrific for me, the ways that we could describe the event. So can you pause the video and in your first box, jot down some other words for horrific event. Okay, so I've got some examples of awful, tragedy, ill-fated, disastrous, all those kind of things that might have happened that we could use to describe the events. And our second our second lens that we're going to have a look at is some other words for like the opening point. So this is really tricky. So I've given you one of the words. Basically, I'd like some other words for firstly. So we're going to say, firstly, we understand this has been such a horrific event, but seeing if we can make that word firstly a little bit more exciting. So in your second box, jot down some other words for firstly, please. Okay, so as well as firstly, we might have first of all, or the primary reason, or even just first, things like that. So let's have a look at this first model of our learning chunk here. Firstly, I'm extremely sorry about what happened to blue, yellow and orange. So we are acknowledging the fact that something happened to them. We're saying sorry for what happened. We're saying sorry for what happened. So I am actually going to up-level this a little bit because I didn't use my other word for horrific. So firstly, I'm extremely sorry about the tragic event that happened to blue, yellow and orange. So there is my other word that I have included there. Blue, yellow and orange, although they're colours, in this instance they're actually names of the pen. So that is why they have got capital letters. So what I'd like you to do now is to pause the video and write your first learning chunk, starting with the opening word of firstly, saying we're sorry, saying that we're sorry it's been such a tragic or devastating event, anything like that, because of what happened to blue, yellow and orange. So pause the video and then give that a go for me, please. Okay, so hopefully you've all been able to start off our paragraph nicely. Now let's move on to our second learning chunk. So we're now going to go into a bit more detail and we are going to talk about kind of like why this happened and when this happened. So the first thing we're going to focus on is some more time adverbs. When did the dreadful event happen that led to the lids being left off? So if we remember back in our letter, they said that those were left uncovered over the weekend. So have a think about when it might have happened that those lids were left off for me, please. Pause the video and in your third box. Okay, so I've got some ideas such as at 3 p.m, at the end of the day, just before home time, all those kind of things that tell me when we left the lids off the pens. Now our second lens that we're going to focus on is our similes. So I'd like us to try and describe how quickly we got out the classroom. So at the end of the day, everyone rushed out the classroom. And I think that there is a way to describe that using a simile. Now remember, a simile is when we use words as and like to compare how things happened. I'll give you an example. As quick as a flash. I think that one might work quite well for this simile. So in your fourth box, can you jot down some similes you could use to describe how quickly you left the classroom? Okay, so I gave you one example there. So as quick as a flash, as fast as lightning, as fast as a cheetah, things like that. We've come up with similes quite often in class, so hopefully you've got some more too. Okay, so let's have a look at what this learning chunk model looks like. When it was home time, we did race out of the classroom as quick as a flash. So it's a nice short chunk, but even within that sentence, we've used a time adverb. I've even used a different word for run, and we've used a simile. You can make it much longer if you want to. I'm not talking pages and pages, but you can make it into a good couple of sentences that describes when you left and run out as quick as a flash. Don't describe for me why you did it yet. That's what we're going to do in the next learning chunk. So just what you did at the end of the day, how quick you ran out. So pause the video, 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes so, and then come back to me for our third learning chunk. Okay, so we have described that we know that the people are feeling upset, and this was because at the end of the day, we rushed out, and now we're going to explain why we did that. So the first thing I'd like us to come up with is some conjunctions, some joining words to explain why we ran out. So it might be words like because, so explaining why you did something. So in your fifth box, can you jot down some conjunctions you could use to describe why you did something, please? Okay, so we've got because, and we could have had as a result or due to as well. So we ran out the classroom as a result of, we ran out the classroom due to, we ran out the classroom because. So we can use those words to join the sentences to explain why. Now we need to actually think of an idea. Why did we run out the classroom? We all want to at the end of the day. We're normally tired, but there's an exciting event that you can think of. It doesn't have to be the same as what I come up with. You can do your own one. Why were you so desperate to get out of the classroom on that day? So pause the video and come up with some ideas in your sixth box for me. Okay, so I have got some ideas of there was an ice cream van. Maybe there's one outside. The final of a football tournament, something super duper exciting that you wanted to leave and get home as soon as possible that you forgot about the felt tip pens. So let's have a look at our third learning chunk model. So we are going to describe why we've done something and we're going to use the other word for because and then what action we used because we left early. So this was because it was an extremely hot and sunny day and lots of us had planned to go to the beautiful park on the way home. It wasn't deliberate. So I've used my conjunction, my word for because. I've explained why, what action we were doing. I've used a little bit more detail in there as well about where we were going to the beautiful park, use an adjective. Now I have also highlighted this section up here in purple for our punctuation, and that is because it's an extremely hot day. So if we're using the word a, but the next word starts with a vowel, we use an instead of a. We couldn't have it was a extremely hot and sunny day. So we have to use an there. And even reading this to you, I haven't spotted a mistake. Hot and sunny day. We need to have a little comma there, don't we? And hot and sunny. No, that shouldn't even be there at all, Miss Smith. A hot and sunny day, and lots of us have planned to go to the beautiful park. So even I make mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. Just to read back through what I was reading, even reading out to you, I didn't spot it, but I spotted it again, and then I've corrected my mistake, which is fine. So anyway, you need to now pause the video and use your conjunction for because to explain why you ran out of the classroom and give me that reason why you did. Add in some adjectives, make it exciting, make it a little bit longer for me. Pause the video and then come back to me when you're done. Okay, so that is all of our learning chunks for today, all three of them, to kind of to follow that shape of acknowledging their feelings. So telling me, we know you're sorry, this is why it kind of happened. So tomorrow we are going to be continuing with our letter and we're going to be having a look at the next shape, which is all to do with a positive action. Have a lovely Thursday, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.